Hello and welcome to DJ Exotics. I'm David and this is Twinkle and Misty, our Western Hognose. And today we're going to be doing a comparison between corn snakes and hognose snakes to see which one is the best snake to keep. Now before we get started, 2 bits of housekeeping. If either of our snakes get disinterested during the show, we will replace them with one of the other ones that we have. And also please remember to like, share and comment on the video, but also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much and let's get into the video. So how are we going to rate these 2 snakes? Well, we're going to do it in 5 categories. The first one of these is ease of care. Basically, how easy is it for a beginner to actually look after these snakes? The second one is feeding. How easy is it to feed them? Third one is handling. How easy is it to handle one of these snakes, especially for those of little children and also for those who are especially new to looking after reptiles. The fourth category is cost. Now this is whether or not the animal is more expensive, but also looking at the equipment that you need to buy for them. Some species will be expensive and some are cheaper. Finally, we'll be looking at availability. How easy is it to go out and buy one of these? Now, this is going to be a longer series. We are going to be doing this for numerous comparisons, so do stay tuned for other videos in the series, and I will put the playlist up here for you to have a look at. So, let's get started. Corn snakes are very easy to look after, very forgiving of little mistakes which beginners may make. They live in a wide variety of habitats in the wild, and in captivity they can thrive in various different kind of setups that you give them. They survive on paper towels, aspen, sand soil kind of setups. You can give them lots of decorations. The temperature range, although you really want to be keeping it around about the 30 degrees for them, you really can get away with it. You can go down to 28, you can go up to 32, and they will not mind so much. So there is a little bit more variance on there. Also, they are very tolerant of larger enclosures than most other snakes. You can put them in a 3 foot if they're small enough. Just remember to always make sure that they can stretch kind of like that diagonal across. Or you can put them in a 5 foot and they won't mind. These guys do not mind that kind of extra space that some snakes do struggle with. So Western Hognoses are fairly easy to take care of, but they do have some specific requirements. So one of the things that I found with Western Hognoses is that they are more prone to suffering from stress when they're in larger enclosures. So their enclosures have to be very size specific. They like them a little bit tighter and a little bit more kind of close in together. Females can also suffer from gland issues, especially where they get stuck and that has to be expressed. It's not very common, but it is an issue which you don't get with the corn snakes. The other issue with these guys is that they are smelly. These guys do go to the toilet a lot and they do make a lot of poop and a lot of smell when they do it, and that can be off-putting to a lot of keepers. So that's unfortunate downside for keeping a Western Hognose. So the winner of the ease of care has to go to the corn snake because they're just so much easier to take care of. Feeding is absolutely easy with a corn snake. These guys love to eat and they are really good. You can actually create a lot of enrichment around their eating habits. So for instance, we do what's known as nesting, where we hide the food inside the enclosure and they will go and hunt for it. They will also be drop fed, so you can actually put them prey item in a bowl and put it into the enclosure and they will come and get that. Or you can do tongue feeding if you want to be more like that, and that is fairly easy. It's up to you and what you do. We've trained all our baby snakes to do exactly all 3 of those, so they're all used to it. So whichever the new owner has when they take them home prefers, they're used to it and will feed, and they're unlikely to actually stop feeding. Occasionally you'll have an individual that will not feed during shed, but quite a lot of the individuals that we have here will actually feed and shed in the same night. Now, feeding for most hognoses can be absolutely fine once they're established. These guys will readily feed on mice, and you can also get them things like reptiles to give them amphibians, meat and other things like that. But the biggest problem is that males can sometimes go off their food, especially during breeding season, and they can randomly just go off their food for about a month or so. The other issue is that when they hatch, some breeders struggle to get them off with that kind of amphibian diet, that they actually are what they call scenting their mice prey, in which they get a mouse and they will dip it in tuna or salmon to give it that scent of an amphibian to get the snake to feed. Now, Western Hognoses can overcome this quite easily. When we had our group of Hognoses last year, we actually kept them in pairs, and that actually allowed them just to feed unscented mice, and we got them off quite quickly and they established very readily. However, some keepers do struggle with that, and they do require to have that kind of scenting to get them feeding, and that can often break a male out of a fast if you are having that issue. So the winner of the feeding has to go to the corn snake. Although we would love to say Hognoses win this one, the corn snake, it just eats all the time. It cannot stop eating. Handling corn snakes is so simple. These guys love to come out. Gumball, on our male, is absolute darling. He really does like coming out. He will come out in exhibitions. He will go back in and then he'll ask to come back out again. Twinkle here loves to be handled, loves to come out. It's a bit of enrichment for her. And it's the same with all our corn snakes. And we handle all our babies several times. Now, there is the occasional time when you might get a defensive snake, and with corn snakes they will nip if that does happen, but they're fairly easy to train to get out of that habit, and you can watch our video here on defensive behaviours and how to train a snake to come out of that. Handling with hognoses is a little bit more complicated than it is with corn snakes. While they are fairly simple to hold, and most of the time they will enjoy it, they tend to prefer to be out for less time than you do get with a corn snake. Also, they have a few more defensive behaviours, which with a poorly socialised hognose can cause issues. For instance, these guys do like to hiss quite a lot. They also do like to kind of scent. Thank you very much. She's just hissed there. They also do like to play dead and musk. You know, these things can be quite terrifying for young children. While their bite is less of a concern because they prefer to do what's known as a mock strike, where they will strike out but actually not bite. If they do go for a bite in which they are rear-fanged and have toxic kind of venom at the back of their mouth, that can cause a bee sting-like reaction. So these things make it less handleable than the corn snake. Handling, again, this one has to really go to the corn snake. So unfortunately it's 3-0 to the corn snakes. Now, cost is rather an interesting one when it comes to reptiles. They are very varied with corn snakes, but you can get them quite cheaply. Some breeders will sell some of the more basic morphs for about £30, but they do go up to around about £300 to £400 sometimes. What I would say is that the cheapest side is from breeders is not something that really you want to look for. You really want to have a look at a breeder who does give a lot of value for their snake. We sell all our snakes at £70, all our corn snakes at £70, because what you get is kind of, cost shouldn't be an element of choosing a snake. It should be about the colour, it should be about the personality, and you should be able to get on. You shouldn't sit there and just go, I can't afford that snake, but it's a really nice one, I'd rather have a different one because that one's the one which I can afford. But that's just something that we do here. Many other breeders and many pet shops do actually sell based on the morph, which case you do get that kind of range from about £30 to £350, £400. The equipment is relatively simple. It is a viv and the 2 hides, the water bowl, all the little decorations in there. You could be looking at anywhere between about £100 to £200, but it depends on how sophisticated you go, where you go and buy it, if there's any deals on at the time, and what your tastes are. Some of the basic setups and hides, such as the plastic hides, are much cheaper than some of the more elaborate ones. But again, it's all up to you, but you are looking at about that £100 to about £200 cost. Cost with a hognose can be very different. You do get some of the basic morphs, which are around about £50 to £100, but you can get some morphs that go up to £10,000. These are normally for things like the Super Yeti, and that makes them considerably more of investment than you would get with a normal corn snake. Now, cost again has to be to the corn snakes. Availability, these guys are available in just about every pet shop. There are loads of breeders. You can go to Morph Market and you'll find dozens of these guys available, all different morphs, all different patterns, different ages. Sometimes you can get them from ripe babies up to 2 or 3 years old sometimes. So they are readily available. You can go into shops and you can also find them quite readily available. They are the mainstay of the pet trade in that kind of way. and that's just because of their brilliance. Availability. Now, hognoses aren't often found in your general pet shop. Specialist reptile stores or exotic stores will probably have hognoses, but other stores such as Pets at Home won't actually have hognoses generally. They will only keep to the basic 2 snakes, or the corn snake and a royal python. Therefore, you are more likely to go to some of the specialists, or even better, go direct to a breeder like ourselves, who will be able to give you all the details of the parents and any kind of health issues that they've had in the past, though generally speaking these guys are quite healthy. Availability, again, the corn snake is just too readily available that I'm afraid it's a 5-0 clean win for the corn snake. Rather, I'm quite disappointed at that because, as everyone knows, my favourite species is the Western Hognose. Just don't tell them that. So thank you very much for watching. I know that the corn snake won, and there's going to be a fair few disappointed people out there like myself who think that the Western Hognose should have won. Please let us know in the comments if you agree with our assessments, if there's anything you would change or things that you would perhaps add on that maybe might swing it in favour of the Hognoses. Apart from that, do remember to like, share and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.